Yeah, good morning. So we are continuing with chapter 1, Canto 3, part 1, that is verse 14 onwards. Now we have started this chapter which is questions by Vidura. Now Vidur is a foster brother of Dhritarashtra and he has to go out of the house. There is a reason for this, so we are going to understand how this reasoning happens. So let us see. From today's satsang, we will come to know a lot of things about him and his life. And what does he do when he goes out of his house? So we are doing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Part 1. This is Chapter 1 and verse 14. While speaking thus, Vidura, whose personal character was esteemed by a respectable person, was insulted by Duryodhana, who was swollen with anger and whose lips were trembling. Duryodhana was in the company with Krsna, his younger brothers, and his maternal uncle Shakuni. So what does he say? We will see. So verse 15 says, "Who asked him to come here? This son of kept mistress? He is so crooked that he spies on the interest of the enemy against those whose support he has grown up with. Toss him out of this palace immediately and leave him with only his breath." Now here you will understand that Vidura has come to talk to the Kauravas because they have declared war. They have not listened to Sri Krishna's words. And because they have not listened to Sri Krishna's words, they have decided that they want to fight this war. And this is not a righteous war at all. Because the terms were that after the completion of 14 years of Vanvas means going to the jungles, the Pandavas should have been given their kingdom back because that was a term of the game. And yet Duryodhana and his brothers plus everybody over there, including Dhritarashtra, refused to give that kingdom back. And on the contrary, they say, ask them to fight for it. Now, when Sri Krishna goes and asks Duryodhana, at least give them 5 villages, just give them a small place so that they can live over there peacefully. Yet Duryodhana is not at all repentant of his action. He wants to be on the side of the demonic forces and he says, I will not do any of that kind. So when this was done, Vidur, who is also his uncle, says that I will go and talk to him. Maybe he will understand what I am saying. And Vidur goes to him, Duryodhana and his brothers, and says to them, please, can you give this kingdom back and ensure that they get whatever they want, maybe that little part of whatever that they want. Now when he goes in front of them, there were lots of people sitting over there. The Kaurava brothers were sitting, all of them, Duryodhana, Dushasan and the rest of them. Plus there was Krsna, who is very good friend of Duryodhana, as well as Shakuni. Shakuni is the uncle. He is also sitting over there. Now the moment he goes over there, Duryodhana insults him. See, when there is a person in your life who is a foolish person, who doesn't want to listen, you should never try to talk to an angry or an upset person because that is your foolishness then. Think like this. Here we have an egoistic person who insists that he is right. See, when a person is in anger and whichever state of mind that they are in, these people have no idea about the right and the wrong in this world. Their belief system is, I am always right. And any person who tries to convince this person saying that no, can you see, please see reason over there. Nobody can see reason at that point in time. So if you have somebody in your life who you know very well is not at all in a position to listen to you, you are never supposed to even tell them anything. What is the best option for you? Don't interfere. Keep quiet. Don't bother your head, because it is not right to give good counsel to a foolish person. If you try to counsel and tell them that, see, what you are saying is wrong, they are unwilling to accept it. On the contrary, they are going to get more angry, more upset. And when a person gets very angry and upset, what happens? They don't have any reason in their life. Reasoning, which we have the ability to understand clear things, a person loses the reasoning power. And when they lose the reasoning power, they become crazy. And they do whatever they feel like. In this world, there are lots of people who commit suicide and all these kind of things. And why is it that there are so many suicide watch kind of people in this world? Always reason leaves that person. They are not able to reason. That is why it is important to get in touch with these kind of groups. Do you understand? And they are going on a dangerous path. And here exactly how this happens. Duryodhana is on a dangerous path. It is going to lead to a war in which he is going to get killed. Everybody can understand that. He is committing suicide over there. Literally. And who are the great people supporting him? All his brothers are there. You imagine, all his brothers are there and his great friend Krsna is also there. Now Krsna is supposed to have a lot of reasoning power. But he has lost his reason also. Even when they were disrobing, Pandava's wife, Draupadi, he was not even interfering in it. At least he should have given good counsel, saying that please don't do this kind of a thing. But Krsna is siding with the demonic forces. The moment you do that, your death knell is sounded. You can be very good in your heart also, does not matter. End of the day, you are on the path of adharma. And then there was another great villain of his. And that one was called Shakuni Mama. He's an uncle, Shakuni. This Shakuni is always there in our life. I don't know whether you know this. You see, when you are losing reason, no? Shakuni. Doubts. Shak. You doubt everything in this world. Even if good advice is given, you are going to doubt that good advice. Many a times, I try to tell people, please, stay out of this. Take a good advice. No. Their mind is already made up. They are having hundreds of doubts in their mind. They don't want to listen. And when they don't want to listen, all kinds of dirty words come from their mouth. Have you heard a person who is in this kind of a position? An angry, upset position? A foolish person who has lost reasoning power? Is on the path towards doom? Will say whatever that comes to his mouth. And that is the cause of his doom. Any person who commits this kind of a grave error against a devotee of Krishna, the doom is written for that person. A person should never do that. And what is it that Duryodhana says? Duryodhana says, who has asked Vidur to come over here? Who does he think he is? He's trying to, do negotiations on behalf of the Pandavas? What does he think of himself? He is just a son of a kept mistress. You understand? In the ancient times, the kings and the queens and all were there. And the king would normally have relations with all the dasis that were there. The dasis were the servant girls that were there. And the king was quite liberal with them. And naturally they would get pregnant and have children. The lineage is of the king, no doubt about it. It's the king's son or the daughter that is born. So Vidur was born to this kind of a person. So he was a Dasi Putra, a son of a servant girl, born out of, association with the king. And when you are insulted like this, there is a very dirty word for that. And that word is what he uses. See, even in anger, never use these kind of words. And he uses these words. And he says to him, remember, he has got Shakuni with him. He looks at Vidura and says, oh, he is a spy who has been sent by the Pandavas. The Pandavas want to spy and see what I am doing, how I am going about in this world. And so he insults him and says, throw this person out of this place. Calls his guards and says, take this person and throw him outside and just leave him only with his body. Rest everything you take away from him. And then what happens? We will see in the next verse. Verse 16, Canto 3, Chapter 1, Srimad Bhagavatam, verse 16. Thus being pierced by arrows through his ears and afflicted to the core of his heart, Vidura placed his bow on the door and quit his brother's palace. He was not sorry. And he considered the act of extreme energy to be supreme. So Vidur on his own says, I am going. And at the door, he removes his bow and keeps it over there. And says, now I am walking out of this place. And he goes away. Now this is a very, very interesting thing that happens. A person should never stay in a place where they are not even respected. Now this is something which cannot be understood by common people. You will find that if there is a disrespect for you in that place, a person should never be in that place at all. Or what is the difference between you and a servant then? The servant is never respected. You understand? The servant is treated like a servant only. And if you are also treated like a servant, why are you over there? For what reason are you continuing? See, this whole thing has been created by the Maya of the Lord. The Maya of the Lord creates this kind of a situation in life of all the dear devotees. The devotees that are there. They are always going to be disrespected. All true devotees of God are going to be disrespected in the material world. They are not going to be treated nicely. It is not the test of the person who is disrespecting them, but it is the test of the devotee. The devotee has to understand how Lord's Maya is playing. And why is it doing so? For what reason? The reasoning is very simple. It is trying to find out whether you are succumbing to the Maya or not. Because what is the immediate reaction a person can give? The immediate reaction is biting back. calling that other person names, trying to give reasoning. Isn't that what we do? Human beings try to reason with an unreasonable person. Have you noticed it? If the person is unreasonable, why are you trying to reason with that person? Your job is to shut up. Don't talk. Don't even be there. Like Vidura, you can keep your bow over there and walk out of that place. Never get into these kind of things. As a devotee of the Lord, you will be treated in this manner only. Don't fall for it. Don't back answer. Don't try to give your, reasoning over there. Oh, you are like this, I am like this, and keep on arguing. There is no need of any argument over there at all. One should refrain from arguing with a person who is unreasonable. So Vidura is very smart in that. See, here we have to understand he is a devotee of Sri Krishna. And what he is going to do now, you will get a clear understanding how a devotee behaves. So he acts and he leaves from there. He immediately keeps his bow over there and says, I am going from here. And then he does this. Verse 17, by his piety, Vidura achieved the advantages of the pious Kauravas. After leaving Hastinapur, he took shelter of many places of pilgrimage, which are the Lord's lotus feet. With a desire to gain a high order of pious life, he travelled to holy places where thousands of transcendental forms of Lord are situated. So what does he do? What is the first thing that a person is supposed to do? A person is supposed to ensure that he doesn't fall for this kind of a nonsense. So don't give argumentation. Don't back answer. You don't have to give it back to that person. There is no point. In the material world, you will give. Because you are having no idea about spiritual. A devotee of the Lord doesn't even give back. He says, okay, I am going. And he walks out of that place. What is the first thing that he does? He starts visiting the places, taking the name of God, that is all the holy places in the world. These holy places are going to be described now. So he goes to various pilgrim centers. See, in different parts of India and the world, there were places which were considered holy. One are the rivers. Have you heard that there are many rivers in India which are all considered holy, like Ganga, Brahmaputra, Yamuna, Saraswati, Kaveri, Krsna, Godavari, and so many of them. So you have to go to these kind of places. Along the river, you will find that there are very important places. I will explain to you once the next verse comes up. But these are the places you have to visit. Then there are temples. Each temple has got some significance. Don't visit the insignificant ones where there is nothing over there. Visit the places where the Lord himself has parked himself over there. The feet of the Lord are there. You will find that there are lots of places in India which are modern temples. People go over there and think that, they are going to get a lot of benefits. No. You may visit a temple. The temple may have zero significance. Visit a temple where there is a significance, where there is a story, where there is a very great background about the Lord. So the feet of the Lord is there in those places. So worship that feet. Take the name of the Lord. And you become a pious human being, a person who believes in God, has faith, has devotion in God. Now, verse 18, he began to travel alone, thinking only of Sri Krishna. Though various holy places like Ayodhya, Dwarka and Mathura, He traveled the air, hill, orchard, rivers, lakes, all pure and sinless, and where the form of the unlimited decorates the temple. Thus he performed the pilgrim's progress. Now this is an important thing which you should know. Important places of pilgrimage are there. Here they are mentioned Ayodhya, Dwarka, Mathura and all that. Visit these kind of places. These places have significance in your life. Think about it. In South India we have something which is called Divya Desams. We have to visit those Divya Desams because they are extremely rare places where the Lord Himself has exhibited Himself. Then there are the Jyotirlingas where you can definitely go and pray. The different types of Jyotirlingas are there. You should visit. There are the places where the body of Sati has fallen. Those places are extremely important to visit. Why? Because this is some place which is very, very significant in our life. The significance, like I said, I will give you an understanding of that subject. Slowly, just wait. And these places, they are pristine and pure. See, what does pristine and pure mean? Go to a place where you can feel the spiritual fervor there. You know, there are many places where people are looted like nobody's business. Give this money, I will give this prayer has to be done, that prayer has to be done. Please don't fall for it. Don't ever fall for this kind of a thing. You have to come to this temple and then you have to pray like this and you have to do like this. No. Don't do that. We should never attempt to do any of those things. You are going there because you are a devotee. And I am only talking to devotees. I am not talking to any other person. May Tantric, Mantrik, all those kind of people, those who are following different paths, I am not even interested in speaking to them. We are only talking of the devotees of Sri Krishna. The moment you know you are a devotee of Sri Krishna, don't get into these kind of things. First and foremost, it is extremely dangerous. You understand? It is like coming in company of somebody who is going to trap you in the future. You know, it is like this. Let us say there is a fight going on between two people, and you take the help of a local don and you go to him, like you've seen in Godfather movie. If you go to him and you say, oh please, can you help me? Then you owe a favor to that person. Please understand this. Did you understand what I am saying or no? You owe a favor to that don. If he is gone and rectified some things in your life, then you owe a favor to him. And you will never be able to get out of it. Never. So don't get into this kind of things. Alright? Similar situation is in all these temples also. The moment you do this kind of a prayer or service or whatever that is there, connected to these gods, these demigods, you are getting into a trap. They are going to take their pound of flesh. Please understand this. So it is better to stay out of this, isn't it? Just take the name of Lord Krishna and just be focused in your world. That's it. Just think about love and devotion to Krishna. That's it. So here, go to all the pure places. And that is how you can do your pilgrim's progress. So while traveling the earth, he simply performed duties to please the Supreme Lord Hari. His occupation was pure and independent. He was constantly sanctified by taking bath in holy places. Although he was in a dress of a mendicant and had no hair dressing nor a bed to lie in, he was always unseen by various relatives. Now this is also very important for those who want to be on the path of spiritual. First and foremost, you don't have to tell anybody where you are going. Okay? You just go. Alright? And do only those things which are related to your deity, that is Sri Krishna alone. You are a Hari Bhakt. You are Krishna's Bhakt. So do only those things. Don't get trapped into all the other rituals and rites over there. It is not good. Because people are going to con you over there in different ways. Oh, do this, do this, do this, do this. Don't get into it. It's written over here. You have to be single-pointedly focused in the way of Sri Krishna alone. And when you do that, you will get the benefit. But if you have 100 gods to please, you can't please anybody. Please understand. It's like if you have 2 wives, did you see what happened to Vidura? Or no? The effect is on your children and other people. Please understand this. Anything that you do, which you are doing out of whatever the reason it might be, you can be doing whatever you feel like. Don't go and ask these deities for anything. You don't even have to do anything over there. Just give them your namaskar and walk out of that place. So, you take a bath if the water is pure and clean. Okay, nowadays the water is so dirty, you can't even touch your feet in it. You will get some disease. I don't know how holy the waters are now. So, he was dressed like a mendicant and had no hairdressing nor a bed on which to lie. This is important. When a person goes on a pilgrimage, he carries with him a lot of stuff. There's no need. If you have given up on this life, you don't have to carry anything. Not even money. Nothing should be carried. You have to go just like that. But I don't think people have the guts to do that nowadays. Very few people can try, and they are still bothered about where they are going to go and eat and all that kind of things. So forget about it. So what does Vidura do? Vidura just leaves and he goes away. And wherever he goes, he is living there incognito. Remember, he is King Vidura. And yet when he goes over there, he behaves like a very simple human being. Always remember. Yesterday also, one verse was asked by a small child, why is it written over here that these kind of gurus and these kind of great sages and saints, why do they remain incognito? It is important to stay incognito. Never seek publicity. Never go out of the way and try to say to the world something. It's not important. Stay as invisible as you can be, then the divinity is with you. But the moment you go and you do flashy business everywhere, you are only money-minded and you are only focused on becoming famous. This is not what a real master or a great devotee does. A devotee is always insignificant and he keeps quiet. He doesn't go and exhibit himself. He is not an exhibitionist. Understand this. He is not supposed to even talk. Have you ever heard of Ramakrishna Paramahansa or Ramana Maharshi or anybody going and giving some massive interviews for newspapers and stuff like that? Have you ever seen them? No. There was only once in the life of Ramakrishna Paramahansa that there was an article which was published by the Gazette. And the publisher was his own devotee. He wrote about him. And so even in England, the word had reached over there. Same thing with Sai Baba of Shirdi. Same thing with Ramana Maharshi. Look at Ramana Maharshi's life. I don't think he ever wanted anything from anywhere. Yes, his disciples keep on writing so many things. That is a different story. After he is dead and gone and all that kind of thing, you can keep on writing as much as you want. But they will shun those kind of publicity. They will not want to be in the public eye at all. So this is important. So as a devotee of Lord, stay out of limelight. It's not important. See, what others do, it does not matter. You stay out of it. Alright? If the Lord wants to put you in forefront, He will make it happen somehow. Okay? You will find that Nityanand Maharaj of Ganeshpuri, of Vajreshwari, the great people of Maharashtra used to go over there. But he would not visit anybody and he would not say anything to anybody. The chief secretary of the government of Maharashtra would visit. The ministers would visit. People would visit. But he would only be lying in that coffin, that one time thing that you wear. That's it. One little cloth. And he remained so insignificant, even though so much was written about him. You have to become that kind of a person if you are on the path of real spirituality. Otherwise, don't get into it. If you want publicity and all that. So, now what happens? Let us see. This is verse 20. Thus he was in the land of Bharatvarsh, traveling to all the places of pilgrimage. He visited Prabhasa Kshetra, and at that time Maharaj Yudhishthir was the emperor and held the world under one military strength and one flag. At the place of pilgrimage at Prabhasa, it came to his knowledge that all his relatives had died due to violent passion, just as the entire forest burns due to the fire produced by the friction of the bamboos. After this, he proceeded west, where the river Saraswati flows. Now here, he has gone to this place in Gujarat. There is this place called Prabhasa. So he goes over there and he sees. He comes to know that his entire family has been wiped out in the war that has ensued. That means some years have gone by because he has been traveling on foot only. Remember, he is only going on foot. He is not going by any transport. So when he is traveling, he comes to this place, Prabhasa. He comes to know over there how this whole world has turned into. His own relatives have completely gone away and things like that. Now he is going further. He goes to the bank of the river Saraswati. Let us see what happens when he goes to Saraswati. On the bank of the river Saraswati, there were 11 places of pilgrimage, namely Trita, Usana, Manu, Pruthu, Agni, Asita, Vayu, Sudasa, Go, Guha, Shraddhadev. Vidura visited all them and duly performed rituals. Now what are these places? First and foremost, the river Saraswati doesn't exist anymore, as you know. And there were these places of pilgrimage on this place, on this path. Now, you do something which is called a pradakshana of the entire river. This is a part and parcel of our culture and heritage. Human beings are supposed to do a pradakshana. That means you go from one place, cover the entire stretch of the river, come back and go again to the place where it joins the other big river, whichever. So Saraswati is a river which doesn't exist anymore. Now what is the Saraswati and what are these 11 places? Remember, all this is spiritual knowledge. Spiritual knowledge happens in the 3 stages. One is in the macrocosm, one is in the body, and one is in the microcosm. I have already discussed this. The second one is on this planet Earth. So when we are talking about the planet Earth, the macrocosm is different. We are not discussing that at the moment. The earthly plane, what is happening is there is a river Saraswati which is physically there. It happens that there are 11 places there. But the same thing is replicated even in our body as well. You remember, this is the microcosm. The river Saraswati is known by a name in our body. It is the Sushumna Nadi. Have you heard of the Sushumna Nadi? The Sushumna Nadi is the third one. The Ida, the Pingala and the Sushumna Nadi. Now this Sushumna Nadi is very peculiar. Though in our body we can see the spinal column, the spinal column is there. The spinal cord is running through it. But basically it used to carry knowledge. What used to carry? Knowledge. And this knowledge had 11 centers. There were 11 centers right from the beginning over here, as it is mentioned over here. Okay, Trita, Usana, Manu, Prithu, Agni, Asita, Vayu, Sudesa, Go, Guha, and Shraddhadev. Now, all these places are there within our being, ourselves. Places which have significance. Say, for example, there is a place called Vayu. What is Vayu about? Vayu is connected to the god of air. It is very close towards the center of our body. It's very close to the center of our body. The air manipulation happens over there. It is just where the lungs are. The lungs are like this, is somewhere in the middle over there. That is the place from where the air gets manipulated. Like that, there is Agni. Agni is near, very close to the stomach area. Below. Solar plexus as we call it. Very close to that place. At that place, it manages the Agni, the fire that is there. So the distribution of the energies, the knowledge base of the energies, fire runs that place. And like that, there are places which are mentioned over here. And we just have to, it is just an example. I can't give you all the answers over here just now. But I hope you got the answer over here. That this is nothing but something which exists within our being. And we have to follow the track and we have to go up. Shraddha Deva. Basically Shraddha. The answer Shraddha means devotion. The path of devotion is very close to the head. Okay. So the devotional aspect, the last point where it merges. And if you remember, I told you there are other rivers which are there, no? So this Saraswati river merges and it goes to that place. There are many other temples of various forms of Sri Krishna established by the great sages and demigods. These temples were marked by the chief emblem of the god and they reminded one always of the original Sri Krishna, that is personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. Now here, whenever you visit a temple, what are the things that you get to see? One thing, you will get to see the flag on top. The flag is always posted on the topmost pinnacle. You will find that there is a very beautiful story of the Jagannath Puri flag. I'm sure you know about it. Otherwise, go and see how this flag is put up. A very beautiful way. And in the last 1 year's time, the flag was taken away by Garuda. Once. It is a very strange story. So you go and see it in YouTube. You will get to know. So there is a flag. His emblem is there. What is his emblem? Every god has an emblem. If you go to Tirupati Balaji, have you seen the emblems over there also? Shankha and Chakra is there, right? We see that, isn't it? So basically you will find his emblem or that mark over there. The mark which you see. That is the emblem. It establishes the credentials. Then you will see his Vahan. Now whichever god you go to, if you go to a Shiva's temple, you will see his Vahan over there, Nandi somewhere in the front. If you go to any Vishnu temple, you will find Garuda sitting somewhere. And there is always Ganesha at the entrance of every temple. Because without worshipping Ganesha, you can't go inside. You have to worship Ganesha. When you worship Ganesha, then only you can enter. Because he is the primary deity who welcomes you, who removes all your obstacles. Understand this. Anytime when you go to meet the big boss, you have to first meet Ganesha over there, who is the super boss of everything, removing obstacles. So you visit him. There are Dwarpals also outside. And in some places, you will find that there is a small Tulsi plant in front. Of all Vishnu temples, you will find that Tulsi plant is always there. Krishna's place means Tulsi has to be there. So these are a few things that we all have to look at. When we are building the temple, we have all these made arranged. Arrangements have already been done. Unfortunately, our thing has gone, stalled. But there is 100%. There is a Tulsi Madam over there. There is a Ganesha temple over there. There are two, entrance deities over there. When you enter, we have already carved it in hard stone, in granite. It's already done. Okay. Now, one thing which we have to do is the Garuda. We have to get the Garuda somewhere. So we will get the Garuda and put it over there also. And we have the deity inside, Radha Krishna and everybody over there. And this is important. You have to give these things significance. So whenever you enter a Krishna's temple, these are few things which you should experience. It is extremely important. Alright? So Tulsis have to be there. So you will find that the temples are marked with the chief emblem of the god. These are the chief emblem of the gods. Alright? And who have made these temples? You will find that these temples are made by great sages and demigods. Only visit temples which are made by great sages and demigods. Don't visit any temple that you feel like. That temple will have no power, nothing in it. There are sages who have consecrated these temples. They have significance. Think like this. Your guru is going to build a temple. Naturally, it will have 1,000,000 times significance than any other temple in this place. So kindly understand this. And we have to make arrangements to get this kicked off very soon. Alright? Alright, now let us come to the next verse, that is verse 24. Thereafter he passed through various wealthy provinces like Surat, Sauvira and Matsya, and through various India and Western India known as Kurujangla. At last he reached the banks of the Yamuna, where he happened to meet Uddhava, the great devotee of Lord Krishna. Now here, he is passing through those various places. Now you will find that there are mentions like Surat. Surat is very close to Mumbai, very close to Mumbai. I think it is 150 kilometers from Mumbai, on the way to Ahmedabad city. So Surat was a very, very important place of trade in the past as well. So way back in the past, you will find that Surat was a very, very important place. Then he is talking of Sauvira. This is basically along the coast, around Maharashtra, and Matsya. Matsya is still further down. Okay, very close to the Konkan coast. The Konkan coast is there. And then there is Kurujangala. Kurujangala used to be somewhere on the right hand side of this, which is basically the Sahyadri mountains. You have heard of Sahyadri mountains. So very close to Sahyadri mountains, where our great sages used to be there, like Tukaram Maharaj and all that. They basically come from this place. And then he goes back to where he meets the great devotee Uddhava. So where do you think he is gone to meet him? Okay. Now, bank of Yamuna. At last he reached the bank of Yamuna. So from Saraswati he goes downwards and he comes back to the bank of Yamuna. It's somewhere in the north again. And there he meets the great devotee of the Lord, Uddhava. Now we will stop over here because Uddhav's story is very, very important. It is a continuation of what we are going to see in the last canto. So we will get an idea beforehand what is going to happen over there. So we will stop at this verse 24 today.
Recording stopped.